So it's been a while since I've spoken about some specific players I've been targeting, but we are back today, so let's reveal who I'm looking at. What's going on, guys? Matt here, back again with another video. The sports card market is falling, but I'm still looking to snap up some players who have fallen or that have impressed me this season in the NBA. Two of these picks are players that I'm looking to have a small investment in, and the other one is someone that is a little bit more PC that I've almost come to enjoy a little bit more of over the season. Alright, let's get straight into it and run through a player that has really excited me this season more than anyone from the 2021 NBA draft class, and that's Franz Wagner from the Orlando Magic. Now, to be honest, I didn't really have my eye too much on Wagner too much last season. More so just took notice that he was playing quite well for the Magic. Wagner was drafted at pick number 8 in the 2021 NBA draft class and wasn't even the highest Orlando Magic pick, with that honour going to their point guard, Jalen Suggs. He did briefly play in Germany's professional league, and I'm noticing a nice little trend with players like Luka Doncic, Alperen Şengün and Franz Wagner, who play in an international professional league before playing in the NBA. It does probably get them more prepared and set up for the rigors of a proper league and the professionalism you probably need to be successful. It doesn't always work out for players that take this path, but it's definitely something handy to know. So Franz's rookie season was impressive, going 15.2 points, 4.5 rebounds and 3 assists per game. He did follow it up with an impressive showing at the Eurobasket during the off-season for Germany. Now into his second season, he's averaging just under 20 points a game on 49% shooting, and his three-point efficiency has dropped a little bit this season, but that hasn't affected him too much, as his effective field goal percentage has still gone up. I do think his efficiency for a second-year player is also quite impressive, and this season, with the injuries to Markelle Fultz and Cole Anthony, he's even been asked to play the point guard role at times, and you can see this with his uptick in turnovers this season, but I think that's part of the journey in developing Franz's overall ability. When you do watch him, you kind of think to yourself that he really isn't that an exceptional of a player at one specific skill, but I also find that he's more good at everything he can do on the court, and that in itself is really good for the Orlando Magic, as for the rookies last season, he was ranked 4th in win shares behind Scottie Barnes, Herb Jones, and Evan Mobley. Win shares is a metric that estimates the number of wins a player produces for his team throughout the season, so being 4th for his rookie class is a massive deal. This means that players on crappy teams like Wagner, but also having superior statistics in Jalen Green and Cade Cunningham, were seen to have had less of an impact on the overall success of their team. I think for the price he's going for and the output that he's providing, that he's the best value player from the 2021 draft class, and I still think he's slept on in comparison to other players in his class. Even now, he's having a great season, and I feel like no one's really talking about him, and I think it's partly due to playing in a small market team like the Orlando Magic, where they don't get too much attention. My main worry with Franz is that he plays with the number 1 pick from the 2022 NBA draft class in Paolo Banchero, who does seem to be the primary scorer and option for the team. Banchero is exciting and projects to be a great scorer, but he's also a high usage player, meaning that there is a possibility that we may not see Franz at his full scoring potential, as he'll be sharing the ball with Paolo. So before we move on to the next player, I'm very excited to say that we do have our first sponsor for my YouTube channel. I have had a few potential offers, but I've always been under the notion that I don't want to really endorse anything to my viewers unless myself would 100% use and would endorse them. Obviously, that's probably hurt me more than anything, but I'm excited to say that today's sponsor is The Hobby Australia. If you are located in Australia or New Zealand, The Hobby Australia should be your number 1 go-to for submitting your cards for PSA, BGS or SEC grading. And you'd know if you'd watched a few videos through my YouTube channel that they are my go-to for sending my cards in for grading, and the service they provide is the best in Australia in my opinion. The guy who runs it, aka Lane Pierce, is also the brains behind 130point.com, which is nearly everyone's go-to for checking price comps, so he's a massive guru there. So make sure you check out their website or join their Facebook group, which will be in the description down below. If you do want to grade your cards and you do have any queries, they also have a ton of helpful videos on their website. The second player is a bit of a buy low opportunity with his second-year regression, and that's Scottie Barnes from the Raptors. Barnes is coming off an impressive rookie season where he won the Rookie of the Year award, and if we even think back to that draft class, the Raptors drafting Scottie Barnes was a huge surprise, considering that Jalen Suggs was pretty much a little bit of a consensus 4th pick. But we do have to give credit to the Raptors president, Masai Ujiri, and their GM, Bobby Webster, who I personally feel have a top 5 front office in the league. In his rookie season, Barnes averaged 15.3 points and 7.5 rebounds, and he did showcase flashes of his freakish ability throughout. Defensively, he can guard each position quite well, and through his development, he's forecast to be one of the best two-way wings in the league in the future. And like I mentioned, win shares with Franz Wagner, he was first in the 2021 draft class in win shares, so there's further proof of how beneficial he is to the Raptors. Now, unfortunately this season, his stats have come down a little bit to 14 points and 6.4 rebounds, and I think this is possibly due to Barnes taking on more responsibilities on the Raptors, with Pascal Siakam and Gary Trent Jr. being injured recently. The sudden increase in his role has probably meant that Barnes has been getting the best defender each night, and there's probably a slight adjustment period with this. Barnes was even benched along with Gary Trent Jr. against the Cavs recently just to try and help the team and himself get a little bit of a spark. With more of the ball in his hand this season, his assist average has jumped up to around 5 per game this season. But yeah, I'm not really too worried about Barnes in the long term. I think his work ethic and attitude are massive positives, so we can't expect him to have a linear progression being such a young player still. And unfortunately, he's also rolled his ankle a couple of times this season quite badly, which has probably left him a little bit proppy. I think if you've played basketball and you've rolled your ankle before, you probably know how sore it is and how long it can take to regain your confidence again. But yeah, one of my favorite websites, 538.com, have projected him to have the best 5-year market value out of all the rookies in his draft class. And with his drop-off in his second season, along with the card market also coming down, his card prices have come down considerably. And I'm definitely eyeing off some numbered cards of him and Franz Wagner are my two favorite rookies from this draft class. Moving on to the third and last player, and it's probably my latest and emerging PC in Destiny, Usman Garuba from the Houston Rockets. Now, if you're like me, entering Rockets breaks with the intention of pulling a Jalen Green or Alperen Sengun card, getting an Usman Garuba card was a heartbreaker. He was drafted as a defensive specialist from Spain, but after limited opportunity last season, I was pretty much ready to move off him, and I kind of thought he was a little bit of a bust. Like always, I always preach a bit of patience, but in the offseason, he did play for Spain in the Eurobasket tournament, and I think that helped him a little bit get into shape into the NBA season. Now, his stats aren't amazing, going for 4.1 points, 4.9 rebounds, and just under a steal and a block per game, but he's someone you almost need to watch and do the eye test with, as I feel like he makes the right decisions offensively and defensively, and his effort up and down the court is incredible. Even when you read his pre-draft report, it's pretty spot on as to how he's developed, but he's actually been quite good with ball in hands as well. I've always said the Europeans are great at doing the basics well, so I think even though he's limited offensively, he doesn't try and overdo it as much. He's part PC and a bit of a buy low player for me because his cards are very cheap, but as a Rockets fan, it's also giving me an opportunity to have a bit of fun and collect some nice cards of a player. I'm not saying go out and buy Usman Garuba cards, but keep an eye on him. He's not really spoken about in circles outside of the Houston Rockets. I do think he'll be an impactful player in the league for years, and I do want to be on record for saying this. I try not to toot my own horn here, but I feel like I've gotten better at finding those underappreciated players over the last couple of years, so let's see if this pans out. I've even seen a couple of Houston fans tell me that he'll be off the team by next season, and I've been very passionate in believing he'll be a very, very solid player in the league. I wish off a few nice Garuba cards I've purchased in the future, so stay tuned for that. That's it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the players I've been buying up, and also let me know who you guys are buying. Make sure you do check out my sponsor in the description down below. Smash the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on future videos. Take care.